team. Roy, what's good? So we're here to react to the unfortunate departure of men's basketball coach Kahil Fennell. And if you're looking for negativity, if you're looking for clickbait, you're not going to find it here. There's an immense level of gratitude that we have for Coach. 35 wins in the last 2 years. Just took McNeese, an NCAA tournament team, to triple overtime. You could argue that we were slated to win that championship, that Southland Conference championship as well. Highest KenPom ranking in program history. So there's a lot to be proud of and a lot to be grateful for. So you're not going to find negative takes or any clickbait from us. So with that, I guess I'll open it up to the first question for you, Roy. What did Coach Fennell actually build here at UTRGV in 2 years, and how real was the success?
Super real, man. First year going over 500 and getting to that milestone, right? And then, being able to get some good transfers in, sign some people. We lost some people from that first year, so it wasn't an easy thing. I think one of the best players went to Memphis, if I believe, if I remember right. So we lost some players. He was able to build it back up. The season did not start the way we wanted it to. It was rough. Every game I went to, we lost at the beginning. So I was at the field house kind of worried about my hot take earlier in the year when I said we were going to be a top three team. And I was like, it's not looking good right now. But if you can hear on Coach Fennell's post game and, during the week press conferences, he kept the same messaging and his guys did not, waver. So
Mhm.
that shows how good of a coaching job he did. Finishing the year, I think they were 12-2 to finish out the year.
Incredible.
Um, had some amazing wins. Got McNeese down and took them down. One of the best 3-point shooting teams in the conference. One of the best defensive teams this year. So it was real. What he was doing was real. During the conference tournament, when we talked about him possibly leaving, obviously I didn't want that to happen, but I felt it. I knew it. I knew a guy like that on the rise, being able to get these guys to play the right way. Um, I was a fan of the coach right when I started going to games and watching him do his thing.
Mhm.
Right. So, what's up, Anthony?
That's
Is
my
that your
boy
boy?
Tony. Yeah, that's my boy Tony Roy. What's good, homie? Yeah, no, you're not wrong, and I attended some of those games over the winter break, and I remember talking to you about him, and you were a fan of the offense he was running, how he coached the team, and at that point in time, I remember there was a 4 game stretch that was pretty tough. It was early in the conference play. It did not go our way, but to your point, there's nothing that stop coach and this team from turning it around and going on that historic conference run of wins. So that speaks to his ability to coach this team up and develop them. So and this his first time being a head coach, because I know he'd been an assistant through other prestigious programs.
Yeah, he started at UTPB, a D2 school.
Hmm.
Before that, he was a high school coach. Before that, he sold medical. I think he was a medical professional
Yeah,
salesperson
I
out
remember
in
that story
Redlands, which
too.
is close to my hood, where I lived in California, Rancho Cucamonga. So his trajectory has been pretty wild. He was able to catch on with Louisville and be able to be under Chris Mack. He was able to, go to BYU and go through that stretch, and then he got this job and quickly showed his chops. Right.
Mhm.
His offense is very unique. His offense is not a traditional regular offense where you see a lot of players thrive in. He has kind of a motion 4 out type of deal. The big man doesn't post up as much, but he got the players in the right places. He was able to really, really focus in on Jalen Washington, which is a big one. He started off the year not playing as well. He changed up the lineup and put Gomez, my 3-2-3 boy. What up, Julian? He changed that up and took Always Right out of the starting lineup, which was a big one, especially because Always Right is a good player. And putting Julian Gomez in there, that changed the year, right? He got in there, he was a scrappy dude, was able to hit shots, was able to get to the free throw line. Cotton was just a special player all year. I'm very interested to see if Cotton goes with them at Western Michigan because I
Mhm.
think he has the athletic ability, the shooting ability, those the range 6'6" guy that plays really good defense, and he can play at a mid-major level, but he might have more options. I think Cotton probably will have people knocking on his door to be able to get his services because he really showed out this year. So that, and then we got the Brink, right? My boy, the Brink, big man down low that started to get a little bit more presence on the post and hitting shots, being able to be a passer was a great thing, and that he was able to do that. And then he has some bench players that stepped up. Right, he had Agua, I think his name was, and he had he had Ricks came in for a little bit. Right, he had Christensen in there a couple times. So the fact that the players all got better just told me that this guy's going to lead. Because when you see a coaching staff being able to get players that didn't get a lot of burn at the beginning and then put in quality minutes in the middle of the season and then be contributors towards the third three quarter of the season and then perform in the conference tournament, that's all signs of the coach Erickson, Howard, Cam, all those guys. I did a really good job. So this wasn't fake, man. This was real, and I think if he would have stayed, we probably would have lost some players. I think a couple people would have left, but there would be a lot of players wanting to come play for Coach KF. So I was excited about what could have happened, but in regards to the question, it was real, and what he did was real, and I'll put money on this, and maybe we can clip this. In 5 years, he's going to be a coach at an SEC, Big 12, Big 10 type of program. I really feel it. What's up, Diamond? What's up, dog? He's up all day. So we can definitely look at that in a couple years to see what he did. Western Michigan will be in the tournament in 2 years. Mark it. They're
Mhm.
going to be good. He has a budget. I read an article from Western Michigan that I reposted. One, it said his salary, right? It's pretty cool to see how much money he made. And the private jet was a flex. That was pretty dope. You see that one, what is?
Yeah, we have our own private jet too. I've seen some of our staff fly around too, so I'm not too impressed by that too much. We got our
We
own.
need we need to put that on Twitter or something so people can see it because just seeing the private jet and it said we got our man and it had him with it. So they
Was
got a good one, the highest Ken Palm ranking from down in the down playing in the valley. So to sum up that, it was a real deal momentum that we had.
Was it a flex? Yeah, sure, but we got nice shiny things too. Like to quote, the message from our athletic director Chase Conk. We just invested, 35 million into the facility. It was an investment into the enhancement for the field house, right? And I'll continue to quote him because I thought it was a great message by our
Mhm.
athletic director. And I quote, this season reminded us of what basketball can mean to the Valley, and our community responded in a powerful way. The stage is set for our program to take the next step, right? And that was before he began talking about, how we're making these enhancements and improving, the program. So that's my segue into my next question, which is, what does UTRGV need next, right? We're on this national search. We're making the investments. This is an athletic program on the rise. So, what say you?
I mean, we got a couple different options, and we'll get to those questions after. But
Hmm.
we can get a proven D1 coach that's on the mend and maybe just got let go, right? That's
Mm.
looking to rebound at a school like ours, turn it around and get a bigger shot, right? They're out there. Those type of coaches are out there, and name coaches are out there that want to do that. You see a lot of these coaches taking these type of jobs after one of the bigger jobs just to be able to reintroduce themselves to a fan base, turn it around, and jump ship for the next contract. So that's one option. Then you got your JUCO and your D2 guys, which I don't think will do that because it's hard, right? Because I like D2, I like JUCO coaches, and I think they can do special things. But if it's a miss, it can look really bad. And I think that risk is not worth it sometimes for an athletic department. But a proven D2 guy that maybe is one of the top D2 coaches out there right now, this is an attractive situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have what Coach KF was, an assistant at a high level program,
Mm-hmm.
right? You got that guy that's maybe at in Arkansas, maybe it's at a Michigan or a proven school that might be the second or third assistant within the program that's on a top 25 school.
Mm-hmm.
Your top assistant on a top 25 program might get a job that's maybe a little bit higher in revenue and those type of deals, right? But a second level assistant on a top program would be looking for this type of job that's already built a foundation. So those are my thoughts on what they could do. They could stay in house, right? Based on the messaging from Chase, though, I didn't. Did you get the feel that, based on that messaging, I didn't get the feel that they're going to stay in house? But you never know.
Yeah, you
Um,
never know. I think you obviously have to communicate that you're going on a national search because you want to, uncover every stone to make sure you find the right guy. I mean, I didn't expect Coach Fennell coming out of BYU to come down here, and it turned out great. And I have full confidence in. I mean, we just got athletic director of the year, with Chase. He proved that, and whatever that formula is, we don't know what it is, but he can find the right guys, right? He found, Coach Beard at Arkansas Little Rock before he went on to have some really good success at Tech, Texas, and Ole Miss. I know he had some troubles later on, but still amazing hire for that program. And now we had, an amazing hire here at UTRGV with Coach Fennell. So I have all the confidence in the world for us to land the right guy. And if we don't, well then move on to the next guy. So we
let's
did
take
have.
that question from the funny
Mhm.
name.
Yeah. So we had a question come through that it says, "What do y'all think would get the Valley to come out for these boys? We had some good showings, and I know basketball isn't the Valley's thing." You want to take a stab at it before? Because I have some thoughts on this.
That's an interesting one, right? Because the Valley is not known for basketball. I mean, to be honest, we're not known for football either, right? We've had some great players and some great teams to be able to come out and do it. Baseball, I think to me, the Valley's no more for baseball. I've always thought baseball was one of the special programs within the Valley. So I think to get more people to come out, it's all about the community. And they did a really good job with that, right? Their players were at the elementary schools, doing their thing. The players were getting the middle schools involved. When I was there, every game there was some type of middle school event or basketball programs that were going to do that. It's going to take an investment in reaching out to the community, making it a big deal, more camps that you want to see in Brownsville, right? The Edinburghs, the McAllens, that area, I think they're more prevalent. If they can get down to Brownsville, down to San Benny, down to Harlingen, down to Los Fresnos, and get those fans excited to drive up to Edinburgh, it's going to take their attendance and times it by two. But that's not an easy feat. It's not easy to get an area that hasn't had a high performing basketball team from a high school level to fall in. So it's going to take something a little bit higher than my pay grade, right, with Chase to do it. But there was some excitement at these games. I mean, we
There
had a
was.
thousand, we had 1,500 people at this. There was some momentum, and winning shells all, right? So the middle of the year, we weren't winning. We didn't start winning until the end of the year, 3 quarters in. If
Mm-hmm.
we would have started winning, I think that would have built a little bit more momentum for the basketball program, and that does help, right? So along with all the community stuff, along with being able to win early, there has to be some investment. And then two, this is a debatable one, right? Is trying to get more local players, right, with representation if they have the talent to do it. We don't have any of that within the program. We have one guy from Los Fresnos, I believe, on the team, and I know that's a debatable thing, and we're not here to hate on anybody or anything, but some of that stuff does matter. And when we're
Mm-hmm.
looking at building a program, we have a local player that's on the team that can hit. That would be great. But we didn't recruit any. None of them are signing to this year's team that I saw. We had some players from McAllen just had a big year. We had Bustamante from Vela that had a huge year and signed with Sul Ross, right? So I didn't see any on the radar. There's another kid out of Westico that's pretty good. That's coming in. He's a junior. He's playing next year. But I think those type of players, if we can get one of those to hit, would make a difference. But those are just my opinions, and I think the community investment, running camps in the summer, which they already do, reaching out to fan pages, wink, wink, always helps, right? So getting out and being available is always good too. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the investment is already there. I think that the number one thing is sustained success, right? Like you were trying to draw the parallel to baseball and how the Valley's known for baseball, and we do recruit talent there to come play for the Vaqueros now. But it has a history of success, and I think if you can get someone to come here and help sustain that success, then it's one of those build it and they will come kind of situations. And the if you look at the community, you have a ton of San Antonio Spurs fans. You know,
Hmm.
there are fans of basketball in the Rio Grande
Sure.
Valley. Like, if there's a notion out there that the Valley doesn't like basketball, then I'd like to dispel it right now and say that's not true, because there are insane Spurs fanatics that drive up to San Antonio to go watch them. Convince them to stay in Edinburgh and McAllen in the Valley to come watch the Vaqueros by having a little success. I know that the Spurs did have like what 3 out of 4 finals championships and stuff. So like I think it has more to do with sustained success than anything else. I don't think it has anything to do with recruiting local players. And it's a big debate surrounding recruiting local talent to stay here in basketball. Baseball, it's feasible, but I'm okay with us not recruiting basketball players from the Valley. Not a hot take. We need the best players around the world, not just the country, around the world. Like
Yeah.
Philip Brankovic to come in and play for
Serbian.
us and win. So I think winning cures all. Win, build it, and they will come. So
What do you think about so? And sorry to cut you off. So look,
you're good.
Coach Bush, naturally being from the Valley, right,
Hmm.
had that Valley aura. You messing with? Oh, you got the bar. I'm gonna go see you this week, Alex. So our next week. So and the haircuts were fire, man. They had some nice ones. So
And maybe we need.
Coach
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
now Coach Bush has the natural. He's from here feel,
Hmm.
right? Um, and the coaches. We cover social media very closely, as everyone knows, right? The coaches, the new coaching regime, I would love to see them at the schools posting that they're visiting Brownsville, posting that they're visiting Los Fresnos, posting that they went to San Benito, posting that they went to Harlingen. Now, it's not about recruiting and having the recruiting base. It's just that name, the figure, the face behind the program in basketball. That has to be what the football is times two, because basketball doesn't have what football has. Football has the built in spirit of the Valley within it.
Mm,
So I would like to see the next head coach, and it's selfish, right, as a fan page, but just be where you see them at a high school basketball game shaking
mm,
hands with all the coaches. You see
mm.
them at a random coaching clinic right down in the down here. You see the assistant coaches posting about
Yeah.
the coaching and the culture of high school basketball. It's not a knock. I just I would like to see more of it, and I think that could help, right? And it could help bring that 2, 5, 6, 7, 10 fans from schools that didn't even pay attention. But now that they've seen the head coach in person and he's shaking hands and kissing babies,
Hmm.
right? And he's out there and they see him or her, hey, or you never know, right? Because I
Yeah.
would be sick, right? But that would be kind of cool. But if they see that, if we see that, we're gonna support even more if we can feel and touch and
Yeah.
know who that coach is. And I know they did it, and I'm not here to say they did a bad job, But tracking it the way me and you track it, we saw a little bit difference between football and basketball when it came to that. And I think it's something that could be done. And I think that they were able to be successful without it. I just to the point of the question is how do we
Yeah.
get the valley behind it?
Hmm.
That's in my opinion as a fan would help a lot.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah, it's more of a community presence and embracing the region by putting yourself out there and making appearances and not just showing face, right, but showing genuine interest in the community so that it feels like you're one of us. Yeah, like I feel like with the other bigger programs, they're one of us, right? They're now a part of the valley, you know. Um, Full fledged, Boodle 956, coaches, staff, and players. So I hear what you're saying there. Yeah, to the essence of the question, that's I think that's a fair answer completely. Um,
Visibility, social media plays, man, even though it's not the only thing, it's one of the things, right? But it works. And we're talking the questions about fan bases and we football is doing a good job on it. Basketball did a good job. It's gonna take a little bit more on the basketball side, in my opinion.
yeah, yeah. So, um, having said all that, I know we're going to be on this national search for a coach. Do you think what Coach Fennell just demonstrated the last 2 years makes it more attractive for someone to come in, especially given some of the commentary in Chase's message about providing our next head coach with the resources necessary to build and sustain success being essential through their funds. That it is like we've already said, a program on the rise, and we've got full alignment across the athletic program, community, and university leadership. So, do you think we can attract a top level coach to come in and coach here?
I do. I think we not only can attract it, we need to do it fast. And I'm just a outsider looking in saying now now, right? There's a lot more to it, and that PJ that Chase is going to be jumping on is it load up the fuel, right? Molly is going to be on that PJ, right? Shoot, send Coach Bush out there to recruit a good coach, right? Because he can speak to what it is, right? I think we have the opportunity now to get somebody that can keep the momentum and make it better. But I don't feel, and I hope it doesn't draw out. We have three players that already hit the portal already. One was before, and I think two are after. That we're going to get more players hit the portal. The team is going to be gutted when it comes to the players, right? We hope that they stay. I hope Cotton stays. I hope Gomez stays. We got a couple other Ricks. We got other players that will can stay. But if we wait it out and we draw this out for a month or two, I think it's only going to be harder to rebuild it and keep the momentum. So I'm hoping that, and it's already happening. I know it is, right? That they're already out there finding and looking. I just think it has to be quick, and it has to be the body of work that we did. We're able to do it, how he did it, what he did to do it, and then be able to replicate some of it and bring their own flavor. So I think a coach will want to come down here and do it, especially with football and baseball being the leaders when it comes to attendance and those type of deals and the momentum. I mean, Lane Lord, the women's team coach, I took that video outside, and after the post game, right, where he talked about all the momentum that UTRGV has, and he started just dropping, boom, bullet, bullet, bullet. He was doing the sales pitch to the new coach,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
that's the sales pitch is real. There's a lot of momentum going on.
absolutely.
But if we get five more players in the portal and we're only coming back four players, right? And that coach doesn't have the opportunity to come in and see if he can hold on to Cotton, right? And I think Brink has another year. See if he can hold on to the Brink, right? See if he can hold on to the other players that we have on Gomez, all those guys that, and maybe Washington, right, that hit the portal. Maybe we can hold on to him if we get somebody in here. So we have the opportunity. Someone internally will make it easier, but anybody that comes in, it's going to have to be done fairly quickly, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, my first thought went to what if the coach is currently, coaching in a tournament like the NIT, right?
Yeah.
Then it delays the acquisition, right? But we acquired Fennell as an assistant, so maybe there's an assistant out there that's willing to break away from a team trying to make a run, in the NCAA tournament or the NIT. Who knows? But yeah, anything else you'd want to cover on the subject before we wrap up?
No, I mean, we got tomorrow, the NCAA tournament, we down to 16 teams, right? So a lot of coaches, assistant coaches, head coaches, they're not going to be coaching anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So as of Monday, right, there's plenty of fish in the sea to go talk to. And I think that hitting the ground running is going to be important. But yeah, I think we got like you said, go go go. We got to go now, right? I would love to see an announcement next week, right? And that's easy for me to say, but I would love to see somebody come in, introduce himself or herself, and then boom, the next week he's here, she's here, right? The next week after that, he's local, right? We see him on interviews, we see him out in the community, we see him on UTRGV, social media, right? We see him on Down in the Valley, show, right? We see introduction, we see momentum. So no, I'm excited. It's a bad thing to lose your head coach, but it's a good thing for the program to show that a coach
Yeah.
like Kay came in just like Diaz did, showed out, and now he's at a program that is going to pay him more money, right? Has more rev share, right? And that's a good thing. I'm not treating that as a bad thing. This is all good news. It's all positive. We just got to get the right person in the job to keep that positivity and get going in the direction we were already going, which is winning the Southland, because that's the next step. Being in the tournament next year.
Yeah, completely agree. So, to some degree, or to a large degree, we need to be able to celebrate this and show that success can be had at UTRGV, right? And it's okay if someone amazing on the come up, just as the program is, comes in to decide to contribute to the rise, and then goes on to an opportunity where they level up themselves, right? And as long as they're helping lift our basketball program as well. I mean, it's just as certain football players did for UTRGV. It's totally cool, totally fine. I like it. Well, that's all we really have today to react
We
to.
got to give a little bit of love to the women's team that plays tomorrow.
Oh, of course, yeah, no doubt. They got Illinois State
Yep.
across from them, trying to continue their tournament run. Tell us more about that, Roy.
Yeah, so we got Illinois State, excuse me, at Illinois State tomorrow at 1 p.m., right? Second round of the NIT would be huge if the ladies are able to pull it off and get to the third round of the NIT, right? Coach Lord said he wished he had a quarter to drill a hole in and wear as a chain, because it's going to take 25 wins to win the NIT, and I'm all down for that. So tomorrow's a big, big, huge game. If there's watch parties out there, let us know. I'm at the beach, as you can see. I got the blue Smurf house, the condo, chilling. So I'm gonna try to rush home and be ready to go at 1 o'clock. So you never know, I might head to Edinburgh and look for somewhere to watch the game if I can. But big game tomorrow. Bunny had a huge game against Austin P. Led with 20 points. O'Keefe didn't have a huge game, but she rebounded the ball like she always does. Right. Detter had another game. Freshman. O'Keefe was sick going into Austin P's game, so I hope she feels better, is able to perform more against Illinois State. 20 win team is Illinois State. I think they made the postseason 6 years in a row. So they're a tough team, and we're going to their house to go play it. So I'm looking forward to see McGuire get in there. She's been clutch the last couple games. We got Lorenz. She didn't get much playing time last game. I didn't know what that was going on with there. She usually is a good shooter. McGuire did really well, though, like I said, and Bunny led the team. So this team has a lot of momentum. Women's basketball lane, good lowered, right? Is doing a really good job, and we're going to give the girls as much publicity as we can, right? We're one of the fan pages that gives basketball as much love as we can. So looking forward to seeing the Lady Vaqueros, Los Valley girls, 956 girls, whatever you want to call them. They got a big opportunity with some freshmen that stepped up against Austin P to do it again. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, some tough matchups after that too. If Abilene Christian or FIU end up winning, so it's going to take a good run to hit that 25 special number. But it'd be amazing to see another big historic step forward for our program.
Yeah, if they win this one in the third rounds Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that, I'm finding somewhere in Edinburgh to go watch that game with other people.
Yes,
So,
sir.
well, we'll figure it out though. But no, I appreciate that, you guys, and thank you guys for tuning in. We had a couple questions, a couple engagements. We appreciate it with all our heart, and we're going to keep doing the people's work, right? Be able to get you guys as much information as we can, and following the program as much as we can. So I'll throw it back to you, Danny, to finish it off.
Nope, that's it for today. Appreciate y'all. Please like, follow, and subscribe on all our socials. V's up.
Let's go.